Hello everyone. Hello, good morning. Hello everyone. A very warm good morning to all of you. Welcome to Deeksha Vedantu Class 10 YouTube channel. Welcome to the GOAT series. How are you all? How's the Josh? ये हेलो गोकू. Good morning everyone. How are you, Goku? Well, my dear kids, the topic that we will be studying today is mind maps and the important question for chemical reactions and equations. Hello Amit Kumar. Hello. How are you all? How's your day going? Hello Amit. Hello Goku. So, in continuation, hi Rekha. So, in continuation to our GOAT series, not good. Why not good, Amit? So, in continuation to our GOAT series, the topic that we will be covering today is chemical reactions and equations. We will be doing mind maps plus the important questions for your board exams. Okay, kids? Okay, so Amit is sick. Okay, Amit, please take your medicine on time and rest properly. Okay? And get well soon, please. Okay, so shall we begin, my kids? Say yes. Shall we start? Okay. Thank you, Bhavik. Same to you. So, okay. Before we begin, the chapter name is Chemical Reactions and Equations. Okay? Hi, Jelena. How are you? Okay, so the chapter name is Chemical Reactions and Equation. So we will be talking about chemical reactions and equations, okay? What are chemical reactions? What are chemical reactions? The first question that should come to your mind is what are chemical reactions, okay? So chemical reactions, you have seen reactions like this, right? I'm good too, Elena. Good to hear you're fine. Hello, Goku. Okay. Okay. Ashir, yes, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. What's your doubt? Hello, Lone. Yes, Ashir, say your doubt. What's your doubt? Questions bhi milenge. Don't worry, Goku. You will get questions and then I'll ask you to solve those questions. Ashir, I'm waiting for your doubt so that I can start my class. I can start. Hi, Faith. Okay. So, what are chemical reactions? Your chemical reaction is a process where one or more substances, what do you call these substances? Reactants, right? You call them reactants. Okay? They combine, they transform. Basically, they transform to give a new compound. And what do you call this compound? We call them products. Okay, my dear kids? So, a chemical reaction is a process where one or more substances changes into one or more new substances, okay? Where one or more substances changes into one or more new substances. The substances that are combining, you call them reactants, and the substances that you get are your products. Okay, Bhavik, tell me your doubt. Okay, Lina. Yes, Bhavik, tell me what's your doubt? And also, Ashir, what was your doubt? You did not... Okay. So this was your CO एक कॉम्बिनेशन रिएक्शन है. हेलो दीपिका. CaO, are you talking about the combination of calcium oxide with water and we get calcium hydroxide? Hi Rohit. Hi Deepika, what's your doubt? Yes, please. So, yeah. Yes, Deepika, tell me your doubt. हेलो रोहित. CO प्लस वाटर कॉम्बिनेशन है, रिएक्शन है क्या मैम, प्लीज बताओ. Yes, it is a combination reaction. Yes, see. So when calcium oxide combines with water, okay, when calcium oxide combines with water, we get calcium hydroxide. So what is happening here? Where your one or more two reactants are combining and we are getting one single product. One single product. Correct, Rohit. That's combination plus it's exothermic also. This is a combination reaction plus exothermic also. Hello, Reeth. Yes, Goku. Correct. Hello, Mr. Emoji. So, ma'am, balance नहीं होती है मुझसे. So, Deepika, yes, it's okay, don't worry. We will try to solve it in this PPT's particular live. We have so many reactions. So, we will try to balance them each step by step. By the end, you will have a clear understanding on how to balance a reaction, okay? Don't worry, your Ekta Ma'am is here. Okay, so I should start. Deepika, don't worry, we will solve questions about balancing equations later on. बहुत सारे questions हैं, don't worry. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Emoji. Thank you. Okay. Ashir, what was your doubt? I'm still waiting for your doubt. Okay. So, we talked about chemical reactions. What were your chemical reactions? When one or more substances combine to give one or more new substances. Your reactants give products. Okay? That's your chemical reaction. Now, how do you write that chemical reaction? How do you write that? Yes, Deepika. Good. Okay, Jelena. Okay, so how do you write a chemical reaction? You write a chemical reaction by chemical equation. It is a way of writing, symbolic representation of writing a chemical equation, chemical reaction. Symbolic way of writing a chemical reaction. Okay, so we know so many reactions are happening around us. I got 51 out of 80 in my science pre-board. Oh, no worries, Mr. Emoji. We will score 80 out of 80. Like, we'll score full marks in your upcoming board exams, okay? If you have any other pre-board coming, can you let me know the dates? Good, Rohit. You got 80. Okay, Ankush, a chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances combine or transform to give one or more new substances. Okay? Ankush, so see, your chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances, what are those substances? Reactants transform to give one or more new substances. And what do you call these substances? You call these substances products. Okay? I hope that clears your doubt. Or do you want me... Is there any role of... Yes, correct. So, whenever a reaction is happening, there are two things going on. You see, we have A and B. They are combining, okay? Initially, there was no bond between A and B, okay? But when you got the compound, when you got the product, which is AB, okay? There is a bond formation between AB, okay? So, when you are here, there is no bond. Here, there is bond formation happening. Similarly, there are some reactions. For example, you have, let's say, we reverse this reaction. You have AB and it decomposes into A plus B. In this reaction, there is bond breaking happening. So, whenever a chemical reaction is happening, there is bond breaking and bond making involved. Okay? Next December for the full exams only, ma'am, no school. Next December, Feb. So you don't have any school from December onwards, right? Until the exam, which was like 17 Feb, right? Decomposition reaction. One more, can we? If you can represent it, then it's a chemical reaction, because you can represent a chemical reaction using a chemical equation. Okay, so yeah, in your up to your level, every chemical change is equal to a chemical reaction. Hi Kushwa. Yes, Rohit, you should also study. Your boards are in 2 months, okay? Are you guys prepared? Need not worry. If you're not, it's okay. We are here. If you are, then for your supplementary, only, you know, for the bonus marks, you can come here and join our GOAT series. 15 December, Feb 10, fully exams only. So you have your second pre-boards going on. Jelena, sorry. तो प्री हाफ ईयरली चल रहा है. Okay, so maybe your pre-board will start in January. Okay, Ashir. So a chemical change and a physical change. I'll explain it using an example. Okay, you have let's say, okay, you have water, okay, Goku, your second pre-board also ended, so you're just waiting for your board exams, right? Okay, where is Ashir? See, a chemical change and a physical change. See, a physical change means when there is change in state involved. Okay, for example, if I have this bottle of water, okay, it's in liquid state, right? And if I boil this water, it will transform into vapors. Okay, now there is a change in state. Your liquid state changed into your gaseous state. It is physical change. Okay, when there is change in states involved, physical state involved, that's your physical change. In chemical change, Ashir, what happens? There is a reaction happening, right? So initially there were A and B, but they combine to give AB. Okay, you have a whole new compound there. Okay, so the whole properties of A and B changed. Whole properties, you know, it's not A and B anymore, it's AB. Okay, so that's your chemical change. Okay, when there is a permanent, irreversible process, you can say. Okay, okay, second pre-board revision exams. Okay, you have revision exams, Jelena. Why do we consider heating of iron ore to red hot a physical change, even though it is oxidized to some extent when heated? Because it's still an iron rod, है ना, Rohit? It is still an iron rod. Even if you have an iron rod and if you are heating this iron rod, let's say I'm heating it. If I'm heating it, after some time, let's say its temperature increased from 50 to 120 degrees Celsius. But after some time, when it comes back to from 120 to 50 at room temperature, it will still be an iron rod only, right? और इसका composition change हो गया नहीं ना, it's still an iron rod. Okay, it will still be an iron rod. The thing is, the chemical change and physical change are differentiated by the nature of their products. Okay, so in one the change is reversible, you can just come back to the original state. But in chemical change, the change is irreversible. Your compound is completely, your atom, reactants, whatever you are having, they are completely transformed into a new compound. Okay? You can't get iron if it's a chemical change. I'm sorry. Ma'am, can you define combination reaction? Yes. Your combination reactions are those reactions in which two or more reactants combine to give a single product. Okay? That's your combination reaction. For example, you have, just we discussed calcium oxide. If you add water to it, you get calcium hydroxide plus heat. This is your combination reaction. Okay, Ankush? Okay, you are from MP board. No worries, Kushwa. Still it will work for you because there are, like, they all take the inspiration from, like, you know, have the syllabus cut down from NCERT only. Is it essential that only one product is formed in combination reaction, or there can be? No, it's essential. Combination means all are combining to give one. So always there will be only one product. Okay, Ankush? Okay, you're welcome, Ashir. Chemical composition does not change, usually reversible. New products not formed. Okay, because your compound, burning of wicks is one. Mr. Emoji answered your doubt. Chemical composition change, usually reversible. New products formed. Exam. Burning of candle. भाई किसी को मेरे notes चाहिए. Okay, cat lover. Thank you. So, any other doubts you have, guys? Do you have any other doubts? So you all are at home, right? Because your pre-boards are done and you're waiting, you're preparing for your boards. No, Ashir, I won't advise that. That's not doable. You are here only on time. We can cover syllabus together. Don't worry. We'll cover it together. But is NCERT, it is written that a photosynthesis combination reaction, but there are formation of more than one product. During your photosynthesis is not a combination reaction though. Hello. Your photosynthesis is a combination reaction. Is it a combination? It is a combination reaction, but respiration is a combination reaction. Yes, your photosynthesis and respiration are combination reaction. The respiration during, not a respiration. Respiration ke during you need energy. Energy is released, right? Let's get broken down. Glucose is broken down. It is not essential, only a single. Yeah, it's not. Basically, you have carbon dioxide and water. They are combining during photosynthesis. They are combining to give glucose, right? So in general, you are getting one product plus oxygen gas is getting evolved. So for example, you have this reaction, right? Calcium oxide combines with water, we get calcium hydroxide. But there is energy also released, right? There is energy also released. So similarly, in that reaction, oxygen gas is evolved. Okay, only one product you are getting, that is your glucose. Okay, that's why it's considered a combination reaction, because your carbon dioxide and water are combining to give you glucose plus oxygen. The oxygen is evolved, right? It's in the atmosphere, and you have only one product, that is your glucose. Okay, depends on the products though. Does that clear your doubt, Ankush? Photosynthesis is a combination reaction, Mr. Emoji. Okay, so in your chemical equation, what is your chemical equation? Your chemical equation is a symbolic representation of writing a chemical reaction. Now, how can you write a chemical reaction? Using chemical equation. In chemical equation also, there are three ways you can write a chemical equation. Okay? But the product is there. Now there can be more than but. Yeah, oxygen gas is there. It gets evolved in nature. The nature of that reaction is combination. We generally consider this reaction as combination reaction. Okay? Okay, Ankush, does that clear your doubt? The oxygen gas, majorly because the nature of that reaction is combination. You have carbon dioxide combining with water, we get glucose, plus oxygen gas is released in the environment. Okay, so that's why only one product we are getting. Okay, it still satisfies the condition of combination reaction. That's why it's considered a combination reaction. Yes, Abhinav. Yes, correct. Ankush answered your doubt for you. Okay. So, okay, my dear kids, focus please. You have symbolic way of writing a chemical reaction is your chemical equation. Okay. In your chemical equation also, there are three ways you can write a chemical equation. Okay. We'll discuss them one by one. Okay. That's a biology question, Abhinav. I'm a chemistry teacher. You should ask Jasmine ma'am about that. Okay, Ankush. Yes, correct. So it's related to biology. I'm a chemistry faculty. Okay. So your chemical equation, we have three ways of writing chemical equation. First one is word equation. First one is your word equation. Okay. What is your word equation? So basically when a reaction is happening, you just write that reaction simply in words. Okay. For example, if there is that magnesium plus oxygen combining to give magnesium plus oxygen combining to give magnesium oxide. So using words, you're writing, expressing that equation in words. You are expressing that equation in words, that reaction in words. That's called your word equation. Okay. Now, the second way of writing a chemical equation is your skeletal equation. Skeletal equation. What is a skeletal equation? So basically, you just replace those words by the atomic symbol, by the symbol of those particular atoms, compound, reactants, whatever you are having. Okay. So see, when magnesium plus oxygen combine, we get magnesium oxide. That is your word equation. Now if I want to write that in skeletal form, I will write it. The symbol for magnesium is Mg. The symbol for oxygen is O2, and we get magnesium oxide. The formula is MgO. I don't know if you noticed or not, we had Deepika. Okay, Deepika. Now see here. We will start from here. We'll start balancing reactions from here. So keep your pen and paper with you and try to balance it with me. Okay, Deepika? Okay, so see, what is a skeletal equation? You just replace the words with the chemical formula of that particular atom or compound. That's how you got your skeletal equation. Now see, the skeletal equation is not balanced. Your skeletal equation is not balanced. Is it balanced? On the left hand side, on the reactant side, you have 1 magnesium, 2 oxygen, right? On the right hand side, you have 1 magnesium and 1 oxygen. Where is the other oxygen? Obviously, your reactants and products are not balanced. That means you need to balance that equation, okay? So, the third way of writing a chemical equation is your balanced equation. That we will be talking about throughout this chapter, balanced equation, okay? Yes, Goku. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so the balanced equation follows these rules. First of all, it follows law of conservation of mass. Now, what is law of conservation of mass? According to law of conservation of mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another, okay? But in here we mean the number of reactants combining will be equal to the number of products formed, okay? So if I have 2 glasses of water, and if I combine them, I get 2 glasses of water, okay? I have 1 glass of water and I have 1 glass of Pepsi, let's say. If I combine them, I get a mixture of 2 glasses of Pepsi plus water, okay? That's your balanced equation, you can say. You have 2 glasses, 1 glass water, 1 glass Pepsi, combined we get 2 glasses of Pepsi plus water, okay? That's what you call a balanced equation. That's what you call the law of conservation of mass is being followed. Yes, Goku, yes, you added the states as well. That's actually very nice. So it follows a balanced chemical equation, follows law of conservation of mass. Number of atoms remains same. So the number of atoms on the reactant side are equal to the number of atoms on the product side of that particular element, okay? For example, we had 1 magnesium on the left hand side, so 1 magnesium should be on the right hand side. We had 2 oxygen on the left hand side, so 2 oxygen should be there on the right hand side, but here only 1 is there. So this equation is not balanced. Your skeletal equation is not balanced. So Ashir, bio ke liye you have JJ ma'am, Jasmine ma'am is here. Yes, do check her out. She's very good teacher and she'll explain your concept very nicely, okay? She's also in this series also, okay? Now, this third point, for a balanced equation, you have both reactants and products are balanced. That's why you call it balanced, right? The left hand side and the right hand side is balanced, okay? Yes, Rohit, Jasmine ma'am. Okay. Yeah, so your left hand side and right hand side are balanced. That's what you call a balanced chemical reaction. What is on your left hand side? On your left hand side, you have reactants. On your right hand side, you have products. She had a class yesterday. Baki, any classes she have, you will know on this channel. Plus, there is a WhatsApp channel. There you get all the updates about the upcoming lives and PDFs. So, do join that channel. It's Deeksha Vedantu. Deeksha, Vedantu, class 10. That's the name of WhatsApp channel, okay? That's the name of WhatsApp channel. Please do join that. There you'll know which teacher will be coming on which day and what time, okay? Okay, Ashir, I hope that clears your doubt. So, your balanced equation where both reactants and products are balanced. That's what you call a balanced equation. First, it follows law of conservation of mass. Number of atoms remain same on both sides. Number of reactant and products are both balanced. Physical states in a balanced equation, as Goku has written in the chat, the second balanced equation has physical description, physical state description, whether the reactants are in solid state or the products are in gaseous state or what states they are in. There are 3 states. How many states of matter are there? 5 states, right? But we will be talking about only 3: solid, liquid and gas, okay? So we will express, we will add that thing, this solid ka S, liquid ka L and gas ka G in the bracket of these particular, okay? So we have magnesium. Magnesium is metal, so it will be solid only. So solid, this is the physical state. In a balanced equation, the physical states are always written, okay? Now see, solid state plus your oxygen, which is a gas, right? And on combining, we get magnesium oxide, which is solid, okay? Now, to balance that equation, AQ is also there, correct? We have 2 more actually. We have, I'll write it here. So what do we have actually? That if you have an aqueous solution, that is your product is forming or your reactant is in water, have a solution in water, it is dissolved in water. So you add AQ. That is for aqueous solution, okay? The second thing is, if you have a PPT, precipitate is formed. If your precipitate is getting formed, you represent it using this symbol, this downward arrow. This downward arrow will show that there is a precipitate getting formed, okay? And if you have an upward arrow, that means, what does that mean? That means there is evolution of gas. Gas is getting released by this particular reaction, okay? Insoluble salt, yes, you call precipitate as insoluble salt also, okay? They are form of ions, right? Exchange of ions. So Pavan, the skeleton chemical equation is your nothing but your word equation written using the chemical formulas, okay? You just exchange your word equation for chemical formula of that particular atom or compound. That's how you got your skeletal equation. Your skeletal equation is not balanced, okay? Evolution of gas, correct. Yes, Goku. Yes, precipitate is insoluble salt, and yes, that the upward arrow means evolution of gas. Yes, Arav, what was your doubt? So, now these are the 3 ways of writing a chemical equation. These are 3 ways of writing a chemical equation. Now, what are the characteristics of a chemical reaction? When a reaction is happening, how do you identify? First, it is a chemical change, right? But there are some characteristics associated with it, right? So that's how you identify if a reaction has happened or not. What is Aditya, we just explained it. Your skeletal equation is color change. Yeah, your skeletal equation is nothing but your word equation written using chemical symbols. Okay, using chemical symbols. Color change, correct. Temperature change, correct. Okay. Then evolution of gas. If gas is getting evolved, that also means a chemical reaction is happening. Okay. Yes, evolution of gas. Formation of precipitate or your insoluble salt. If insoluble salt is getting formed or precipitate is getting formed, that also means it's a chemical reaction. Okay. Okay. There is a change in color, precipitate, 5 characteristics. Correct. Formation of precipitate, change in temperature, change in nature. So there is a change in reaction happening. That's your chemical reaction happening. Okay. There is change in state, physical solid to gas, liquid to gas, solid to liquid or something. Okay. But there is a new compound is also getting formed. Do not confuse it with physical change, because in physical change, change of state also happens. But that change is reversible in nature. These changes are irreversible in nature. These changes are irreversible in nature. Okay. So do not get confused. Okay. Correct, Rohit. Now what are the different types of chemical reactions? What are the different type of chemical reactions? So majorly we will be talking about these many. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, these will be your major reactions that we will be talking about. Okay, tell all the activities in this chapter, miss. So Aditya, yes, Jelena, I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name. So yes, Jelena, Aditya, we will be doing this mind map, which is almost covering chapter through mind map. So you, by just studying this, you will get an idea what is there in the chapter. Actually, it's everything written in this short form you have. On 2-3 pages, you have whole chapter summary. Okay, and when we have questions, we'll go to the questions and try to solve as many questions as we can, the important questions. Okay, see, what are the different type of chemical reactions? We have chemical reactions. In chemical reactions, we have a reactant and we have a product. What are reactants? Substances that take part in a chemical reaction. And what are products that are getting formed at the end of the reaction? Okay, so we have a reactant, and that's how you write a chemical equation. You put an arrow and there's a product. Okay. See, the first type of chemical reaction, these are types of chemical reaction. The first type of chemical reaction is, Aditya, we will do questions after this, okay? So don't worry. Okay, so first one is combination. Photosynthesis is a combination reaction, right? So the combination reaction or reaction when 2 or more substances combine to form a single product. Your combination reaction is a reaction in which 2 or more reactants combine to form a single product. For example, here your iron and oxygen combine to give ferric oxide. Okay, iron oxide. Similarly, your calcium oxide plus water, we get calcium hydroxide. The reaction that we talked in the beginning of this video. Okay. Now, what about the second type of reaction is your decomposition reaction. It is the opposite of your combination reaction. Your decomposition reaction is the opposite of your combination reaction. What does decomposition mean? In combination, 2 or more reactants were combining to give one product. Here your one product is getting broken down into multiple, one reactant is getting broken down into multiple products. Okay, so here you have carbonic acid H2CO3, it is getting broken down into H2O plus CO2. Okay, we have calcium carbonate, it is getting broken down into calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. What happened? Okay, so this is your decomposition reaction. A simple thing to remember, okay, generally what happens is your combination reaction, where when you're combining something, energy will be released. Okay, when you're combining something, energy will be released, right? So your combination reactions are exothermic in nature. Generally they are exothermic in nature. And your decomposition reaction, when decomposition is happening, yes, there are different type of decomposition. We have thermal decomposition, we have electrolysis, we have photolysis also. You know, thermal means you're using heat. Then you have electrolysis, which means you're using electricity. And the final one is your photolysis, where you are using sunlight. Okay, so decomposition means when you have one compound that is getting broken down into multiple products, right? These are your decomposition reactions. They are totally opposite. Again, sorry. Okay, so what happens is when you're breaking anything, when you're breaking any bonds, when you're breaking any compound, you need to give energy. Basically, you need to put energy to break it. You need to put energy to break this also, okay? So, your decomposition reactions are endothermic in nature. Endothermic in nature. Okay, my dear kids? Decomposition of vegetable peels, etc. is exothermic, right? Yes, that's what I said, generally. That's why I use the word generally. Like most of the time it's true. Most of the time combination is exothermic, decomposition is endothermic. But there are exceptions also. So that's why we use the word generally. Your combination reactions are exothermic in nature and your decomposition reactions are endothermic in nature. But there can be exceptions to it. Okay? I hope that clears your doubt, Rohit, because yes, decomposition or vegetable compost ka decomposition, that is your exothermic reaction. We have discussed it in the last class also, right? So yes, it is it's decomposition, but it's exothermic, right? So again, not all decomposition reactions are endothermic in nature. Some can be exothermic also. Okay, Rohit? Okay, Jelena understood. Okay. So the next type of reaction is displacement reaction. What is displacement reaction? When one more reactive element displaces a less reactive element from its compound. That's your displacement reaction, right? And you call it single displacement. Single displacement also. When there is one more reactive element, it displaces the other element from its compound. That's your displacement reaction. For example, you have here Cl2 plus NaBr, NaCl plus Br2. So chlorine is displacing bromine from NaBr. Okay. Similarly, your gold plus AgNO3. So in here, gold is displacing Ag, silver from AgNO3, and we are getting Ag plus CuNO3. Sorry, it was copper, not gold. Sorry, copper plus AgNO3. Okay. Aditya, chemistry is all about exceptions, Rohit. Physics. So, Aditya, if you have doubts in physics, Aditi ma'am will have a live class. Do join that and she'll answer every physics question you have. Zn plus HCl, ZnCl2 plus H2. Yes, Goku. Aditya, yeah, the class again to join. Know the timetable and everything. The live class lecture links and everything. Please join the WhatsApp channel, which is Deeksha Vedantu class 10. There you'll get all the information. Okay, plus the links, plus the PDFs of this. You know, Deeksha Vedantu class 10. I'll highlight it in black, I believe. So everyone, if you have any doubts when will be the upcoming classes, please join this WhatsApp channel. There you'll get all the updates. Okay? Deeksha Vedantu class 10, it's a WhatsApp channel. There you'll get the PDFs plus the live lecture links and everything. Okay, my dear kids? I hope, Aditya, it clears your doubt also. Okay, so we have displacement reaction, then we have double displacement. In double displacement, there are two compounds. Okay, we have two compounds. So each respective, each atoms you have two different atoms or group of atoms. Two different atoms are getting exchanged. For example, we have BaCl2 plus Na2SO4, where barium and sodium are getting exchanged. We are getting sodium chloride and barium sulfate. Okay. So when two atoms are there, or group of atoms are there, and they are getting exchanged, two pair is there. Okay, that's why double displacement. Okay, then we have oxidation reaction. What is your oxidation reaction? Your oxidation reaction is a reaction. जिसको like multiple ways we can define. We can say when there is a addition of oxygen happening, that's your oxidation reaction. When there is a loss of electrons happening, that's also an oxidation reaction. And when there is removal of hydrogen. One more thing is there, my kids, that is your increase in oxidation number. Increase in oxidation state. If any of these things is happening, it's an oxidation reaction. WhatsApp पे नहीं है. Hold on a minute. I'll share the link in chats only. Okay, so don't worry, the link will be shared with you in this chat, in the chat only. How to calculate oxidation, because I sometimes get confused in those redox reactions. Okay, so for oxidation state, that's a whole different lecture actually. So basically, there are some rules there. You need to remember the rules. For oxygen, it's -2. For hydrogen, it's +1, right? And if there is no charge on the compound, it's considered the whole charge is considered 0. For neutral atoms, for gases and everything, when you have neutral compounds, you have 0. H2, N2, O2, they have oxidation state 0. So these general rules you need to follow. We'll discuss it like in a different class. Today, I don't think that's the focus here. Then you have oxidation. These four things might, if any of these four things or all of these things are happening, that's your oxidation reaction. Your reduction means there is removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen or gain of electrons is happening. And apart from that, you have one more thing. There is decrease in oxidation decrease in oxidation state. If any of these things is happening, that's your reduction reaction. So for example, C plus O2, oxygen is getting added, addition of oxygen is happening. That's called oxidation, okay? Then you have N2 plus 3H2. Nitrogen gas is combining with hydrogen, we are getting ammonia. That's a addition of hydrogen is happening. What's addition of hydrogen? We call that reduction reaction, okay? Now when you combine oxidation and reduction, you get redox reaction. What are redox reactions? Your redox reactions are those reactions in which both oxidation and reduction are happening simultaneously. Saath, like they are happening simultaneously. That's your redox reaction. Okay. Then you have oxidizing agent and reducing agent. So kids, there is a link of WhatsApp channel in the chat. Please go, make sure you join that channel, okay? And there you'll get all the updates about the upcoming classes and everything. Jelena, I'm trying to wrap it up, like I'm trying questions. We'll do the questions now, okay? Just quickly let me wrap it up, okay? Hello, Neetu. Okay. So see, your oxidizing agent, you had oxidation, you had reduction, right? Your oxidizing agent are substances that oxidizes others and reduces themselves, okay? So they are substances which oxidizes others and reduces themselves. If they want to reduce themselves, that means they need to gain electrons, right? So to do so, they gain the electrons and hence they get reduced. The examples are KMNO4 in acidic solution and concentrated HNO3. Concentrated nitric acid. Thank you, Lakshmi. आप कहाँ से हो? Hi, Neetu. Okay. Now the reducing agents are those substances. Yes, KMNO4 and K2Cr2O7 are your oxidizing agent. What are your oxidizing agent? Your oxidizing agent are those substances which oxidizes others and reduces themselves. We know what is oxidation? Loss of electrons. What is reduction? Gain of electrons. When you are getting reduced, when one substance is getting reduced, that means they are gaining electrons. And कहाँ से electrons लेंगे? कोई lose करेगा. Somebody is losing there, right? They'll take those electrons, right? So that means they oxidize other and reduces themselves. So what they do, they gain the electrons and hence they get reduced. Okay? It's the opposite. Reducing agent means reducing agents are those substances which reduces others and oxidizes themselves. What is oxidation? Loss of electrons. That means they are losing electrons. They are losing electrons, right? They are losing electrons and someone is gaining. Some other compound is there that is gaining those electrons, right? So that's why they are getting reduced and they are reducing others and oxidizing themselves. The example, carbon, hydrogen, okay? So basic ones. Okay, moving on. What did you not understood, Smita? Hello, Marco. What did you not understood, Smita? Just tell me. Smita, what did you not understood? Reduce. Okay, so reducing agent, your reducing agent are opposite of your oxidizing agent. What was your oxidizing agent doing? Naam mein hai, they are oxidizing others. That means they are getting reduced themselves. Okay, what are your reducing agent will do? They will reduce others and oxidize themselves. What is oxidation? Loss of electrons. So matlab they will lose their electrons and reduction means gain. So someone will gain those lost electrons. Ye jo electrons lose kare, somebody will gain it. Okay, that's the purpose of your reducing agent. They reduces others and oxidizes themselves. Okay. I hope that clears your doubt, Smita. You just need to remember two things when you're talking about oxidizing agent, reducing agent. Your oxidation means loss of electrons, and your reduction means gain of electrons. Okay? Okay, Smita. Now, so we have the effect of redox reaction in our everyday life. What are the effects of redox reactions? Yes, Goku, oxidizing agent do carry oxygen. Okay, they supply oxygen. That's what oxidation is about. So there are effects of redox reaction जो happens in our everyday life. We have seen corrosion, right? What is corrosion? It is the deterioration of metal by the action of air, moisture, acids, right? The basic common one you have seen, rusting of iron. Rusting of iron, that's your corrosion, okay? What does corrosion do? It converts your metals into their respective oxides, hydroxides and sulfides, okay? Metal का compound बना दिया. They form metal into something else. That's what you call the corrosion, or you call rusting of iron. It's a different thing. It's just a part of it. Okay? See. Prevention of corrosion. How do you prevent corrosion? So to prevent corrosion, you use paints. You use oil or grease. You use galvanization and coating with epoxy or acrylic. Painting means you just paint the surface. Oil or grease means you apply a layer of oil or grease on the metal surface. Okay? Galvanization means what you do in galvanization, that means you apply a thin layer of zinc. Thin layer of zinc to prevent the corrosion. Okay? Corrosion of copper in copper carbonate. Oxidizing. Okay, so Goku, corrosion, yes, in copper domes जो होते हैं ना, normally in architecture, European countries में there are architectures that are made up of copper. So there they get react with carbon dioxide and gets converted into copper carbonate. Okay, that's the reason of the corrosion of copper. Okay, it's one more word we call it. You call that pillite. Pillite. That's your copper carbonate. Okay. Then you have, yes, epoxy. Again, you coat it, paint ki coating, epoxy or acrylic you apply. Then you have rancidity. What is rancidity? Basically, rancidity is the oxidation of our food, of our oily and fatty foods. The foods that are oily or fatty in nature, they get oxidized due to oxygen, obviously. And what happens because of that? They become so bad, like they have a very pungent smell and taste. Pungent smell and a really bad taste. Okay? Pungent smell and a really bad taste. Okay? So you should not consume the food that has gone rancid. Okay? We also call it oxidative rancidity. Why do we call it oxidative rancidity? Because for rancidity, oxidation is happening, right? Oxygen is required to go, like for rancidity to happen, oxygen is required, right? Only because of oxygen the rancidity is happening. That's why we call it oxidative rancidity. Okay, Malika, we will make sure you won't lose that 1 mark also, okay? That's very good. Then how do you prevent rancidity? Simple measures. Chips ka packet, you put nitrogen in there, okay? Nitrogen gas se flush karke we give it, okay? You're as flushing with nitrogen. Antioxidants, you use antioxidants to prevent the food from going rancid. Using airtight containers so that bacteria grow now. Simple, there will be no bacteria. Keeping in refrigerator, you put the food in refrigerator so that at cool temperature there won't be the oxidation. The oxidation will be delayed. The rancidity process will be delayed. Yes, these questions will come. Now guys, we will try to solve as many questions as we can. So just buckle up. You need to tell me the answers in the chats, okay? Remove oxygen use in oh yes. Okay, so the first question is on your screens. Be ready and answer it, okay? Okay. A student performs experiment with 4 unknown metals A, B, C and D. The observations are as follows. Your metal A displaces metal B. Your metal A displaces metal B from its salt solution. Metal B displaces metal C from its salt solution. Metal C displaces metal D from its salt solution. You need to give me the decreasing order. Decreasing order. What will be the decreasing order of reactivity? So here, if metal A displaces metal B from its salt solution, B, okay, Goku answered quickly. That means your A is more reactive than B. Your B displaces C from its salt solution, that means B is more reactive than C. C displaces metal D, that means C is more reactive than D. What is the sequence we are getting? Yes, Goku, we are getting A, B, C, D, decreasing order mein na? The sequence will be A, B, C and D. Correct. B is your correct answer. Goku answered correct. What about the rest? Marco, the answer is B. Just see. If some metal displaces one metal displaces the other metal, that means that one is more reactive. The one that is displacing. Okay, next question on your screen. This is very easy. So you need to write the equations with straight symbols, okay? So solution of barium chloride, sodium sulfate in water reacts to give insoluble barium sulfate and the solution of sodium chloride. I believe you know the reaction very well. So you have barium chloride, BaCl2, which is in solution, BaCl2. Barium chloride का solution होगा aqueous and you will get a PPT of this. If you balance it, I believe this is balanced. Okay, sodium hydroxide in water reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce sodium chloride and water. Sodium hydroxide in water reacts with HCl in water to produce NaCl solid plus H2O liquid. Ma'am, can you increase the level of questions? They are feeling basic. Okay. This one. Can you tell me the change in color? What will be the change in color? Lakshmi? Yes, NaCl aqueous. Okay, Lakshmi, tell me what will be the change in color. I'll write the reaction for you guys. You have iron nail, which is a solid, copper sulfate, aqueous solution. We get FeSO4. Color batao. What will be the color? Green. Kiska? You have plus copper. Solid. This is your solution. What will be the color change, Lakshmi? Blue to green. Again, which kiska blue or kiska green? Yes, Yatharth. What doubt you have? Okay, so again, what is the color of this one? Reddish brown. What is the color of FeSO4? Green, blue, FeSO4. Okay, correct. Next question. This one, CuSO4 blue, FeSO4 green. Correct, Lakshmi. Okay, so you guys are smart. Good. Okay, just try to solve these questions as quickly as you can so that we can have a marathon kind of thing. Okay. So identify the substance that are getting oxidized and getting reduced. So in the first one, which is getting oxidized and which is getting reduced? Correct. Yatharth, tell me your doubt. What's your doubt? Marco, FeSO4 is not blue, it's green. FeSO4 is green in color. So, in the first one, which is getting oxidized and which is getting reduced? Okay, sorry. I don't know anything. What am I? Na is getting oxidized and O is getting reduced. Yes, Na is getting oxidized, oxygen is getting reduced. Second one, correct answer, Lakshmi. Goku also correct, Na oxidized, O2 reduced. Here, this is oxidized. Okay, here this is oxidized and this is getting reduced. Similarly, your copper oxide, copper CO oxidizing agent as it is getting reduced, H2 is reducing agent as it is getting oxidized. Yes, so CO is getting reduced, so it means it's an oxidizing agent. Correct, Goku. And your H2 is getting oxidized. Yes, your H2 is getting oxidized, that means it is a reducing agent. Correct. So here it is getting reduced and your H2 is getting oxidized. Good. Getting reduced and your H2 is getting oxidized. Correct, Lakshmi. What you don't know? On demand. What you don't know? Okay. Okay, answer this one. Now I am not Lakshmi, I am Virat. Okay, Virat. Okay, Virat. I'll remember your name. In a double displacement reaction between sodium sulfate and barium chloride, so what is happening? What's the correct option? On demand, do not worry, just join the series, you will get good marks, don't worry. We are taking everything from the start, need not to worry, okay? Yes, so on demand, what's your name first of all? So don't worry, you just follow the series, you'll cover everything, okay? And be regular in your studies, okay? Be disciplined, okay kids? D, B, C and D. No. No. Exchange of ions takes place in solution B, C and D. Correct. Okay. So, you on demand, you answered correctly. Yes, Goku. Correct. So Goku answered A, then he answered E. Koshtak. Okay, Koshtuk. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce. Koshtuk. Okay, so the answer is this one. So when this reaction is happening, you are having sodium sulfate and barium chloride. We just did the reaction back. Okay, so you are getting the product sodium chloride and your BaSO4, barium sulfate. So barium sulfate is a PPT. You get a PPT of barium sulfate. So there is exchange of ions happening. A precipitate is getting formed. An insoluble salt is getting formed. Okay. There is no exchange of atoms because there is exchange of ions happening. Correct. Marco, the answer is D. Okay. So when you're doing the reaction in a precipitation, there is exchange of ions. Precipitation means exchange of ions. Okay, moving on. Next question. Correct. Lakshmi, correct. Marco, the answer was D. D, correct, Marco. Hello. Okay, this one's very easy. You can answer it. Am I audible now? Marco, answer the question, please. C. Yes. So, what is this reaction? This is your respiration. This reaction is your respiration reaction. Okay? Yes, the correct answer is C. Correct, Goku. Koshtak. No, sorry, Virat. Koshtak, Virat, what was the answer? C. C. Amar, okay. Marco's name is Amar. No, sorry. Respiration is an exothermic reaction. Yes, Marco. I'm sorry, your name is Virat, I think. Okay. Next question on your screens. Try to answer it. C, correct. Koshtak, C was correct. C, Lakshmi, correct. Virat, your name is Virat, your name is Koshtak. Okay. Okay, answer this one also, please. Yes, Virat, I know your name is Virat. Okay, so your MnO2 plus HCl, MnCl2, H2O plus Cl2. The correct answer, jaldi bolo. Okay, Marco, I'll remember your name. Your name is Saurav. Now I have Saurav, Virat, Koshtak, then I have Rohit, and then I have one more is there. Are Goku. Goku. Okay. So what will be the answer of this one, kids? B. One and reduced to Cl2. 2 correct. MnCl is an oxidizing agent. HCl is an oxidizing agent. Only these two. Goku, B is not the answer. Goku, what is the answer? See, the answer is C. Your HCl is getting oxidized to Cl2. Correct. There is loss of hydrogen. There is loss of hydrogen. That means it is oxidation. MnO2 is getting reduced to MnCl2. That means there is loss of oxygen here. There is loss of oxygen. That means it is reduction. Okay. MnCl2 is not acting as an oxidizing agent here, and your HCl is not acting as an oxidizing agent. Okay. So the correct answer is C. Virat, it's okay, Goku. So Virat, where was your answer? You did not answer the question. Okay. Moving on to the next question. This one's easy. Incorrect. You need to identify the incorrect statement about chemical equations to satisfy the law of conservation of mass. Yes, the answer was C. Correct. Next question. Out of these, you need to find the incorrect statement. Yatharth, tell me what's your doubt. Okay, we are almost done. We just have two more questions left. So, in this, the incorrect statement is C. Correct. See, the chemical composition of the reactant is same before and after the reaction. Obviously, that's incorrect because when reaction is happening, your reactant is getting converted into product. Your reaction is getting converted into product. B. No, Goku, the answer is C. You need to identify the incorrect statement. These are correct. The element mass is same before and after the reaction. The number of atom of each element are also same before and after the reaction. Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. These all are correct statement. You need to identify the incorrect one. Okay? Okay, kids. One more question you have. Yes, thermal decomposition. Just answer these two questions, we are done. See, Virat, answer the question. Goku, Virat, answer this question. Okay, so which one of the following reaction is categorized as thermal decomposition reaction? I will write it down here. D. Yes, correct. Thermal decomposition means you are using heat to decompose. You are using heat to decompose. Among these reaction, this one use electricity. This is electrolysis. This one use photolysis, sunlight. And this one also use photolysis. So only one reaction you have that uses thermal decomposition. Now, okay, good Goku, correct answer, D. Virat, your answer was also correct. Yes, on demand, Kostak, your answer was also correct. Marco, your answer, Saurabh, your answer is D, not C. Because this reaction happens by photolysis. Last question, kids, then we are done. This is very easy actually. Let me just find the good one. Sodium sulfate, combination reaction. This one we also answered. Insoluble PPT, decomposition. This one's also easy. Combination reaction. Yeah, which one? This one question, 15th. This is the last question. Answer of question number 15 is D. Yes, the answer is B, photolytic decomposition reaction. Okay, we are done. Example of decomposition reaction. Yes, the answer was B. Correct, the answer was B. Marco, the answer was B. Yes, the answer was B. Correct, on demand. Correct, Lakshmi. Virat. Goku is also correct. This one, decomposition reaction. Hi, Ashir. Decomposition reaction. Okay. C, correct. Correct, Saurabh. Correct. So when decomposition, melting is not decomposition, it's just physical change. Rusting of old bridges is also chemical change, but it's oxidation. Absorption is a different thing. So you have only rotting where decomposition is happening. Yatharth, what was your doubt? Okay, kids, so okay, done. And that was it, and I hope you guys like this session. If you guys like this session, please give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to this channel for all the amazing content that's gonna come in this GOAT series. Okay, and you have if you have any doubts, join the WhatsApp channel. The link is in the chats only. There you'll find each and every PDF and the lecture links also. Which class is scheduled when, you'll get the notification there only. Okay, my dear kids, I hope you enjoyed this session. Take care. Bye-bye. And please do subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you really like the video. Please give it a like. And yeah, if you have any doubts, drop them in the comment section, and take care. Bye. Do subscribe, huh?